Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
10.1 Teacher Pathways Program will be presented at the next board meeting. Under the consent agenda, Education Services 13.1, there was a typo, and it's the 5th grade, not the 6th grade, going to Shady Creek. Under new business, Education Services 17.2, the public hearing has been delayed to the next board meeting. And the last thing, under new business, personnel 18.1, resolution 2022-23/10. There was a mistake in a date. So those will be the corrections for tonight's agenda. Now we have comments from the board. Jeff?
No.
Okay, I'm trying to get names. Ms. Hasty?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Doug?
Nothing at this time.
The one comment I'd like to have is nice to have the cooler weather. I hope everybody is enjoying it. And we're hearing that the COVID has produced its presence, but it's still here. But we are asking folks that when you feel that you're not well, which comes like the wind, take appropriate precautions. Wear a mask if that helps, or change your schedule. So we have comments from school site reps. Do we have Marysville High School? Please state your name.
My name is Brighton Quintana. I'll get started. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Brighton. I serve as Marysville High School ASB Vice President. This evening, I'll be quickly addressing the district board regarding the exciting new activity at MHS. Starting off, Marysville High School has been quickly progressing and adapting to the start of the new school year. ASB has been hard at work as always, making great changes in school culture and activity. Our primary focus as of now is Club Rush, which is this Thursday and Friday, and planning our first ever homecoming dance on October 1st. ASB has been heavily revamping our student section at home games, which seems to be full of spirit and a great way to get students excited for the new school year. Additionally, the first student council meeting had an amazing turnout with over 70 new members in attendance. That's about it. Very brief. Things have been going very well. I thank you all for your time. Hope you appreciate the update. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have Lyndhurst High School? Then state your name.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Norberto Montero, and I'm excited to bring to you all new information regarding the students from Lyndhurst High School. I want to start off by bringing up our wonderful LHS Interact Club, which was established in 2002 and is starting its 20th year at LHS. They are the high school student branch of Rotary International, and as such, they undertake community service projects, both big and small. Last year, the Interact Club hosted a fundraiser for the family of an LHS teacher who passed away suddenly, and were able to generate over $5,000 for the family. The club also gives scholarships totaling around $1,000 every year to members who have put in the most time and effort with the club. As one of only 3 clubs on campus who can wear stoles, their members proudly display them every year at graduation. This year, the club is gearing to bring back a long-time staple at LHS, the Haunted House. The students every year work on, design, produce, and act in a high-quality haunted house that has been praised by all who attend, saying it's even better than the ones at Six Flags. It is a giant undertaking to set up and take down in a single day, but our hardworking members pull it off. They will also work at elementary schools' fall festivals when asked, and have done the Ookie Spooky Festival at Olivehurst Elementary for several years. They will do at least 2 roadside cleanups over the course of the year as well, one at Edgewater Park and another at Olive Avenue in the weeks right before graduation. They have also in the past done a cleanup at Cedar Lane Elementary and Ellis Lake. The LHS band participated in their first away football game and traveled up to Live Oak on Friday, September 9th. It was an amazing evening of collaboration and teamwork by a band of 50 students, 27 from LHS and 23 from Live Oak. Students had a lot of fun, and they are looking forward to playing at our upcoming football game this Friday at Dean Miller Stadium. LHS has also recommended 20 band students to participate in our upcoming MJUSD District Honor Band that will be taking place on October 15th at LHS. Moving on to FFA, their chapter officer retreat was a success as their officers planned out upcoming events for the chapter as well as built stronger bonds as an officer team. Their first FFA meeting in August had a great turnout with over 80 students in attendance. They will be in the Marysville Stampede Parade representing our active program and excited students ready to take on this year and all opportunities they have to participate in at Lyndhurst. Later this month, our FFA officers will be attending the Chapter Officer Leadership Conference at Sutter High School to become stronger officers and leaders in our FFA chapter. This Friday, September 16th, will be a home football game against Delta, and leadership has taken the initiative to make a student section following the theme Red Blast. I would like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy this upcoming game. Last but not least, our homecoming dance has been moved to a later date due to unforeseen circumstances, but will be held on October 21st following the same theme regarding constellations. And with that, I would like to thank you all for your time.
Thank you. MCAA.
Hello, my name is Hope Cross. Good evening, everyone. Much of MCAA's activities and culture is brought about by clubs. This year, MCAA has approved 5 new clubs we'd like to share. First is the Slavic Club. This club provides students with an opportunity to study Slavic cultures and history. Philosophy Club is also a new addition. Students will debate philosophical truths and ideologies. We are also excited to present the Interact Club, which is meant to increase volunteer work and community-based initiatives. Our school counselor founded the Active Minds Club. This organization seeks to raise mental health awareness and equip students with tools to better help themselves and others. Lastly, our school is now host to a Model UN Club, where students debate global issues and their impacts on individual countries and regions. Some events we have coming up include Starflight. Starflight is a unique collection of student-written, directed, and performed one-act plays. It will take place this Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. at the MHS South Auditorium. From the 27th to the 30th of September, we will be having a Positivity Week. We celebrate positivity by putting sticky notes with positive messages on the student lockers, announcing inspirational quotes each morning, and encouraging students to dress up for Spirit Week. At the end of Positivity Week on Friday, September 30th, we will be holding a dragon feast during lunch. Not only will popcorn be sold, but this event will include a variety of student performances, including dance, music, and theater. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we have the opportunity for employee organization. Oh, sorry, dear. South Lyndhurst High School.
South Lyndhurst and North South Lyndhurst.
Okay, and your name?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Fall, and the cabinet. My name is Angelina Perez, and I am a student at North Lyndhurst South High School. Yes. Okay. The first 4 weeks on all 3 campuses have been very busy. Let's start with South. The students at South Lyndhurst High School have been very busy earning credit so they can graduate early or graduate on time. Students have participated in Spirit Week, and most recently there were fun activities during Suicide Prevention Awareness Week. On early release days, all students attend from 8 to 11 and learn about careers, teamwork, how to read their transcripts, anger management, and art. Our future activities include field trips to Yuba College and Chico State. Now for our North Campus. For those of you who may not know, our North Campus is new this year. North, like South, is a credit recovery program that is modeled very closely to the South Campus. North-South Lyndhurst High School also participated in a Spirit Week and will be focusing on suicide prevention awareness next week with several fun activities planned. North will be holding their first art contest this month to showcase all the great talents on this campus. North is also making plans to attend the Yuba College and Chico State field trips. Both North and South campuses are acknowledging the accomplishments of our students. We are holding weekly Noble Night drawings for the students who have taken initiative in the classroom. We are also recognizing students for their hard work and dedication through the Student of the Month awards. Finally, our independent campus, or Abraham Lincoln, has been busy guiding students through admission classes for secondary and junior high. Our elementary students have been using Google Classroom and are steadily making progress. One exciting thing is that we've had 25 students attend our Friday in-person sessions. The students and teachers are having so much fun getting to know one another on these special days. The Abraham Lincoln teachers are planning a field trip for the students to Bishop's Pumpkin Farm, and the seniors will participate in the college field trips. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we have opportunity for employee organizations to address the board. Marysville Unified Teacher Association.
Good evening, Mr. Davis and rest of the board, Dr. Israni. Angela Stiegel, I'm the president for the Marysville Unified Teachers Association, and my comments this evening are particularly directed towards the school board. And I recently was doing a little research because someone had asked me if I could tell them in just a sentence or two, like, what does the school board do? What is their role? What are they there for? And I was trying to make sure that I wasn't just giving them the same old answer. And so I went on the premier resource for school boards, which is CSBA's website, the California School Board Association, and looked up one of their foremost resources, which is entitled, What It Takes to Lead, Role and Function of California School Board. And one of the functions that I believe is particularly poignant and important right now says ensuring a positive personnel climate exists. And I would just like to take a moment to let the board know that there is a lot of work to do there. For one, ensuring a positive personnel climate exists, you would actually have to communicate with the personnel to find that out. And so since I'm the one that's here speaking to you this evening, like I said, I will tell you there's work to do, but it's hard for that work to happen when we don't even get communication from the school board. And when we don't get communication when we attempt to communicate with the school board. And so your personnel, and not just the teachers union, your personnel in this district, there's some issues as far as that positive climate. And so I would urge the board that you should probably consider very strongly speaking to your personnel in the district, and not just one person or personnel, your actual personnel in the plural sense. There's just 508 of us that are teachers, but you also have OE3 and CSEA, and you have unrepresented, and you have a lot of folks in this district. And so I would urge you to reach out to those folks and have some conversations with them in the hopes that maybe we can start getting some of this work done and we can start repairing and creating some relationships, because at this point in time, I can tell you with all certainty that a positive personnel climate, as far as between the personnel and the school board, and maybe even the personnel and the district, doesn't exactly exist. Thank you.
Next, we have Operating Engineers Local Union number 3, California School Employees Associations number 326 and 648, Association of Management and Confidential Employees, Supervisory Union. Now we have presentations. We're skipping the pathways. We're going to 10.2, Edgewater Elementary School Plan. Introduce yourselves, please.
Is it on? There it is. Renee Henderson, the principal. And now introducing.
I'm on your agenda tonight. I'm Greg Law, the assistant principal.
And I want to thank Erica for coming. She came in support of me tonight. She was the teacher who came up, I'll come with you. Are you nervous? I'm like, yes. It only took 100 takes to do this, but I got it. So I would like to present Edgewater.
Good evening, wonderful board members and all MJUSD friends, families, and coworkers. Tonight, I am honored to be representing Edgewater Elementary School, where we believe that teamwork makes the dream work. My name is Renee Henderson. I am the principal, and in our audience is Greg Law, our new vice principal. Purpose of Edgewater site plan. Edgewater Elementary School has developed a school plan for student achievement, SIPSA, that meets the essential guidelines of the Every Student Succeeds Act by ensuring all children have an opportunity to receive a fair, equitable, and high-quality education. We work to close educational achievement gaps most prevalent among students with disabilities, low-income students, minority students, and English learners. Our plan directly aligns with the LCAP district goals, as you will see. California dashboard for the 2020-21 school year was the last public indicator. Edgewater used the following data to create our goals. 2021 LPAC summative data noted on the chart. You see that 11.63% of our students were a level 4, 41.68 were level 3. And in 2020, 42 students were reclassified. Our metric indicator for this year continue to reclassify students who meet the criteria, and the site will increase the percent of students scoring 3s and 4s and the number of students proficient and above by 10% in each subgroup. Academic data for the 2020-21 results. In ELA, 33.20% of our students met or exceeded standards. Mathematics, 19.52 met or exceeded standards. Our metric indicator this year is to increase the number of students proficient advanced by 10% in ELA and math. All areas, yellow and green on the dashboard for all subgroups. We will continue to look at attendance this year. Last year's attendance, we were at 94.4%. Our metric indicator will be to strive for 95% or greater attendance rate. Our school climate shows 1 suspension and no expulsions in 21-22. Metric indicator remain under 3 suspensions per year. The following is site-based assessment and data metrics. 78% at or above grade level in Lexi in the spring of 2022, which is amazing considering what you see at the start. And the metric indicator is by spring of 2023, 83% of our students working on grade level, and we will increase EL and foster and low SES students by 10% in reading. Climate, culture, and family connection. Noting that approximately 50% of our SSTs were for behavior concerns in 21-22. Our metric indicator will be to reduce that amount by 25% with interventions available to students needing support through the SST process. In 21-22, very few families checked out parents' resources in the library and attended Zoom meetings. The metric indicator for 22-23 will have 75 to 100 families will attend each family night or event. Our back to school night already beat this goal. Comprehensive need assessment. Edgewater collected data for a comprehensive need assessment in several ways. We gathered data over the 21-22 school year at PTO meetings, SSC committee meetings, ELAC meetings, and daily interactions on site and needs and success. District needs assessment results were used. Aspects of it to consider: increased participation rate to at least 60% when we give surveys. Sports and music and arts were very high priority for parents. So we're looking at starting a basketball team and band. Retaining high quality teachers was a concern. We've hired 5 new teachers and 5 new staff members. Social emotional learning support services in STEM are a concern. We'll continue working towards those goals. And student achievement through engaging instructional practices will be looked at through our goals with our PLCs. Goals in our SIPSA. To magnify LCAP Goal 1, Edgewater has the following goals and strategies that align with LCAP Goal 1. Maintain continuous professional learning communities where collaboration teams identify and will continue to review essential standards, curriculum analysis and alignment, and create, monitor, and plan instruction based on data analysis by providing intervention opportunities and enrichment programs before, during, and after school. I have given the highlights of strategies 1 through 8 within that goal. The strategies are listed below. 1 or 2 to point out is we are looking at providing paraeducators and substitute support interventions. Another one to point out is our literacy resource technician is vital to our growth and literacy through AR. She monitors and supports. Another one to point out would be the books that we're going to be purchasing for our AR rewards in the vending machine, and looking at providing more books for multicultural and bilingual reading materials in our library. Aligning to Goal 2 of our district, Edgewater has the following goals and strategies that align with LCAP Goal 2. Goal 1, create an environment that addresses the physical, emotional, and safety needs of all students and staff. The highlights for these strategies: implement interventions for students with social and emotional needs during their grade level academic intervention time and during recess. And then we had to note that fund partial students service coordinator, which is our VP, we no longer do that through the site. Goal 3, that aligns with our LCAP goal: prepare every student with the skills needed for college and career readiness. Here are the highlights for strategies 1 through 3. Improve academic performance by creating an academic system that addresses and engages the various identified needs through the work of PLCs. Provide intervention with extended learning time. Provide during school and after school intervention to students who are performing below proficiency in ELA and math. Grade levels will have a common established intervention time and paraeducator support to be provided during that time. A counselor and outreach consultant will provide annual college and career week with presentations and information about college and careers. Provide enrichment activities for students before and after school. Goal 4 of our LCAP, we aligned with our district LCAP. Goal 4, build a system of specific support for our EL English learners, foster, and low SES students. To highlight strategies 1 through 3, improve academic performance by creating an academic system that addresses and engages the various identified needs. Provide workshops for parents of ELs, and increase library collection to meet the needs of students and supplement classroom instruction. Goal 5, which is one we work on continually, is improve the meaningful school-to-home relationship, highlighting strategies 1 through 3. Provide materials and the time for training sessions and resources for parents and homeschool activities. Provide parents with information, newsletters, calendars, phone calls to increase communication. Provide family nights with activities for parents and students to do at home to increase academic performance. Edgewater's 2022-23 budget in our site plan total is $348,541, and you can see the breakdown of Title I, targeted lottery, LCAP music, lottery science. Edgewater Showcase. At this time, I want to showcase our office staff. Edgewater's office staff is amazing. They are always friendly, helpful, and focused on student needs no matter what is going on. Thank you, Angelica, Rocio, and Bonnie. And I want to thank Hector Gonzalez for your support this past month. New to Edgewater this year, Shark Bites newsletter is now digital and live. I encourage you to take a look at it. It will be produced monthly, and as you can see, I will be showcasing all kinds of wonderful things going on, like transitional kindergarten, student council campaign. We have PTO being showcased. We're back up and running fully. Community nights with parents that we're starting monthly. And we have a new counselor that you can read about. She's wonderful. And then we have a music program that we are going to be bolstering up this year. At this time, I want to thank you for being a great audience. I appreciate your time and have a great evening.
Thank you very much. How many students do you currently have?
Well, we just gained 2 more today, so I think we're pushing up into the 530s, the high 30s. I can't tell you exactly because we've gained about 6 this week. We keep getting kids in, which is great, but we're going to fill up, which is also great. I'm going to need to move that mountain so that we can build another school park.
Any questions from the school board?
Yeah, I just want to say, very impressive. It looks like you're not only going to hit some of your goals or getting close to hitting some of your goals, but you're probably going to exceed them. And that's a testament to you and your leadership. So thank you very much.
I'll tell you, I thank you for that, but you cannot stand alone as a principal. It takes the entire staff. And I already looked at test scores for this last year, which I cannot say, and some pretty amazing work happened. So I think there's going to be some good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Now we have 10.3 Mary Coblott Elementary School Site Plan. While she's coming up, I do want to recognize this huge gift that the Elks Lodge gave Coblott, along with Umpqua Bank. You've got some great partners out there.
We do. We're looking forward to Christmas time, when we really get to work with our community. They love Coblott at Christmas time, right?
They do.
Yep. So Dale and I he has the DJ kind of voice, so Mr. Van Loo recorded this for me, so I'm grateful because it wasn't easy, I don't think. So there you go. Here's Mary Coblott. We're always happy to share about Mary Coblott, so if you have any questions at the end, we'll answer them for you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
Mary Coblott Elementary. All learners will learn. Carrie Isles, Principal. Dale Van Loo, Assistant Principal. Purpose of the site plan. Mary Coblott Elementary has developed a school plan for student achievement that meets the essential guidelines of the Every Student Succeeds Act by ensuring all children have an opportunity to receive a fair, equitable, and high-quality education. And we work to close educational achievement gaps most prevalent among students with disabilities, low-income students, minority students, and English learners. Mary Coblott Elementary engages in timely and meaningful consultation with stakeholders both in the planning stage as well as the implementation of the SIPSA. The stakeholder groups review data and evaluate programs that target our historically low-performing groups of students. The plan is also developed with the Marysville Joint Unified School District Local Control and Accountability Plan goals, actions, and services as a guide for continued academic progress. The goals in the SIPSA are aligned to the goals in the LCAP. Our school, our community. State and local student achievement. CAPS data, 2021% met or exceeded standard. Third, ELA, 62.82%. Math, 44.87%. Fourth, ELA, 45.90%. Math, 22.95%. Fifth, ELA, 51.25%. Math, 25%. EL, 2021 year reclassified 6 learners. Attendance, 2021-2022, average of 92.8%. 2022, August, Attendance, 96.2%. Choices continuing to be used in lieu of suspension. 10 learners formally disciplined during the 2021-2022 year. 520 learners enrolled. Covalad is full. Comprehensive needs assessment. A varied pool of data is critical in determining the needs of students attending Mary Covalad Elementary School. The data sources considered in the comprehensive needs assessment, which drives the SIPSA development, are as follows: CASP, ELA, math, science data, LPAC scores, and reclassification numbers, chronic absenteeism, and rates of suspension. In addition, other data is considered, which includes STAR, Renaissance reporting, library usage data, and informal inquiry with stakeholders. In addition, PTCO and our site council provide important feedback from stakeholders invested in the success of all students. The result of analyzing this data can be decimated into the following categories, which are prioritized and placed as fitting under the umbrella of the district's LCAP goals: staffing, library resource technician, and paraprofessionals; supplementary and/or enrichment materials, books, online resources; technology, PBIS, tutoring, and intervention; copier contracts, professional development, alternatives to suspension, community, and the school at-home connection. LCAP Goal 1, improve academic performance by creating an academic system that addresses and engages the various identified needs of all Mary Covalad elementary students. Full-time library resource technician. Effective paraprofessionals working directly with teachers to provide timely intervention. Collaboration during the workday to inform timely decisions about weekly intervention for our learners. Supplemental and/or enrichment materials to support district-adopted curriculum, purchase online resources, and to further academic and social-emotional initiatives. Provide highly engaging books and resources to support AR and promote literacy and technology. LCAP Goal 2, create an environment that addresses the physical, emotional, and safety needs of all students and staff. Universal classroom-based social-emotional learning curriculum for kinder through 5th that nurtures children's social-emotional competence and foundational learning skills. School counselors teaching weekly classroom lessons to every classroom. PBIS school-wide strategies being taught and reinforced by all staff members. LCAP Goal 3, prepare every student with the skills needed for college and career readiness. PLC time is spent planning for instruction, analyzing student data, and creating intervention where appropriate in a timely manner. Before or after school tutoring, targeting identified students requiring intervention in ELA and math. LCAP Goal 4, build a system with specific support for our English learner, foster, and low SES students. EL students make up significant subgroups of enrollment at Mary Covalad Elementary, 47.6%. A team comprised of administration, EL facilitator, and our outreach consultant ensure that accurate EL testing, monitoring, and reclassification occur. Master scheduled to reflect 30 minutes of designated ELD for each learner by the end of the 2022-2023 school year. Wonders ELD training for staff on 10/24 during the teacher workday. LCAP Goal 5, improve school and home partnerships. Parent orientation, parent-teacher conferences, family fun night, academic celebrations, fall festival, PTCO, Thanksgiving feast, Title I meeting, La Posada, lunch with loved ones, site council, Christmas stroll, pledge at the flagpole, Christmas with Santa, Christmas parade, monthly newsletter, family dance night, ELAC, Read Across America, to name just a few. Our budget summary, total budget 2022-23 in our site plan. Funding sources reflected in the site plan budget. Title I program $4,100, $170,458. Title I parental involvement $2,076. Targeted $104,408. LCAP equals no 2022-2023 allocation. LCAP and music $2,500. Lottery and science, $4,600. Covalad Cougars' expectations and procedures are being implemented through the use of the PBIS program because Covalad Cougars have pride. Mary Covalad Elementary School continues to value its staff, appreciate the community support, and celebrate the achievement of all of our learners.
Thank you very much.
Any questions we can answer?
Yeah, one question I have for you, and it's just because it is a new program, is how do you think you're going to spend or develop your music program?
I don't have a music teacher, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
We're
not sharing one
we're
with
having
anybody?
a hard time with that. Pardon me?
We're not sharing with anybody?
We share with Kynoch, so we have music 2 days a week, and with Kynoch has the other 3 days, but we haven't yet found a music teacher.
Okay, all right.
Mrs.
That might be
Farwell
helpful.
unfortunately left last year, so we haven't been able to replace her.
Okay. That's definitely something we want to look at, see what we can do. I mean, I know that we're hurting everywhere.
We've tried, and I have some friends that are connected to Sac State in particular, seeing if we can find anybody through Sac State even, and everybody's been picked up.
Right.
So everybody has a teaching job. So we're still looking though.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other questions from the board? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, good evening. I just have a couple updates. The Fiscal Services Department just completed the 21-22 unaudited actuals, and they're moving straight into reporting season. They wrapped up their first returning from COVID Treasure Your Health Fair. That was a success. We had about 100 people attend. And then we have a reminder, September 15th is the last day for open enrollment, and also for our employees to get their Keenan videos done. In nutrition services, they are debuting a new recipe this Friday. It's the new Kicking Kiwi Chicken Chili Verde with kiwi salsa recipe. And then in maintenance, we survived the heat wave last week, and I just want to thank John Upton, Matt McCall, and the rest of the maintenance crew for all their hard work and trying to keep up with all those air conditioning work orders. Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have any report for personnel? Okay. Education services?
I just want to say I didn't survive the heat wave. I'm scalded after that heat last week. Delighted to report out several things from Ed Services. First, we just completed our first round of principal data chats. And you may ask, well, what is a principal data chat? It's very similar to what we ask our teachers to do in their PLC meetings, where they come together and look at evidence of student learning and then analyze it and then plan around it and then implement an intervention of some kind. Well, we're doing the same thing with our principals. We're bringing them together in small cohort groups because we're also trying to become a learning community as administrators. So under the direction of Lori Guy, our Director for Data and Student Supports, and Amy Stratton, we have completed that first round of data chats, and we're pretty excited about, I think, the outcomes to come, and we're going to continue to do data chats for the remainder of the year, each time we have a new metric or data to analyze. So that's number one. I wanted to report about that. I also wanted to say that we're famous. We were recently, well, of course you all knew that, right? We were recently featured on CDE's Twitter and Facebook feed through the Office of Supporting Inclusive Practices, which is just a fancy way of saying conscientious discipline-like practices in our classrooms. So Siobhan Matthews, our Director for Special Education, and Jolie Critchfield, Linda Duenas, one of our preschool teachers, Lauren Hauser, our coordinator, all took a field trip to Lodi Unified to visit a model preschool classroom that was implementing these inclusive practices. So they went, they were featured because it's pretty special. And then of course our next goal is to implement a similar preschool program in Marysville, and we're beginning at Linda Elementary School with a pilot preschool classroom. So look forward to more of that information as we continue down that road. And of course, it's all part of the EAP grant, which is designed to help bring those inclusive practices across Marysville, and of course, bring our county program students back into Marysville as well. So look forward to more of that. And lastly, as you know, a few meetings ago, you approved our Siembra MOU, and that is, we're having our Siembra planning rollout meeting next week. And we just wanted to let you know that, of course, we're moving forward with that, and we're excited. That's, if you remember, the digital platform that allows the Cal State and the UCs to interface with students and their families on their mobile devices. So there's still a lot for us to learn about that, but we are headed down that road, and we're excited to bring that information to the board. So that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? I'd like to hear from technology. Do you have any updates, Brian?
We've got a couple. We've got some really nice new technology that now is up and running at Arboga, which it was a little later than we had hoped, but it's up and running now. They're using the interactive projectors. We've got more of those coming in across the district. We're working on putting together a 5-year kind of budget expectation as to what's going to take to keep our technology up across the board, from things like projectors and document cameras in the classroom all the way up to the firewalls that we use to keep the district safe. Technology is unfortunately not getting any cheaper, but we're ahead of the curve, and we plan on staying there and making sure that we have enough available for our students and to keep everyone safe. Cybersecurity is just the biggest thing that we've got going right now. We want to. I'm one of those few areas where, for the most part, if I don't have anything to share, that's a good thing, because people in my position that have to share, it's usually not for good reasons. So so far we're doing good. We'll continue with the push to make sure everyone's aware of what that is. And so I am fortunate to have an unbelievable staff that is just, they are out and about and everywhere, and I'm very, very lucky to have the staff that I do. So.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions for technology? Dr. Estrada.
Thank you. Good evening. I know, I just have to read this out. Okay, so I want to start off with a big shout out to Lyndhurst High School's broadcast studio. I think some of you have probably received the Sunday Scoop. This is courageous of the children. Now they've gone across the district. A quick reminder, 2 minutes or less, English and Spanish, to our parents and our community about what's coming up. I'm so proud of Troy Spangler and his students. I mean, in 1 year, they've taken that broadcast studio to a very, very high level. Thank you, Troy, if you're listening in. So proud of you. September is a Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and while suicide prevention is important to address year-round, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month provides a dedicated time to kind of address this topic with compassion, and it's a very difficult topic to talk about. We do have resources in our schools. We have our wonderful counselors, our ORCs. We also, of course, have our classroom teachers, who are the first ones who see something, always the ones to tip us off if something's going on, right, with children. And then also we have the 24/7 contract with Care Solace, where anybody in the community, if you have friends or family members that are looking for support, please link them to Care Solace, and Care Solace does a 72-hour concierge and links a family up with services. I did have, and I need to mention and shout out to Marysville, thank you for making me walk your campus for back to school night. That was very nice. Thank you so much, David. It was like 115 degrees, I think. last week we met with the large management team. This is a think tank kind of a group that includes all our labor partners. They bring their team. You were there with us, Mr. Davis. Thank you so much. We had the whole cabinet. We had Greg from transportation, Amber from food services, and we just kind of listened and talked about what do we do with this issue that's looming now for us, which is the late start for high schools next year, and the impact that has on elementary children. And it's just, I mean, short of the word sacrilege, I don't know what to use. It's just the most ridiculous rule that's impacting schools. High school students sleeping in late, research doesn't prove that they go to bed early. It just means they stay up late. It's just push the clock. We all have high school age children at home or been parents of them, and we know that this isn't a solution. It's just more of an impact on our teachers, on the lives of our families. Now our teachers have to stay later, buses go home later. It's just something we're going to work on. But I do want to thank our MUTA reps and our OE3 and CSEA reps that were at the table. Just it's a collective solution, and I think that's what we're talking about. The more we get to a place where we can talk together, I think we can solve some of these issues together. And finally, a cheer out to 8 schools. So these are Browns Valley, Cordova, Cedar Lane, Johnson Park, Marysville High, McKinney Intermediate, Yuba-Sutter, and Arboga for being recognized for PBIS silver schools, silver medal schools. Very proud of them. PBIS is something the district has done for several years, but I think it's true that, you know, when the pandemic came, or even before the pandemic, many of the initiatives don't really get rolled out in a consistent manner. So we took the time to kind of sit back last year, train our principals and the schools that were ready, and so you heard the schools that really moved forward. They got recognized with silver. Arboga got recognized with bronze, and then the other schools now will take this year to train our teachers, give them the support they need with positive behaviors in the classroom, and then look at full implementation maybe a year or 2 from now, right? So we need some time. So I wanted to thank our community again for all the work that's going on. I want to thank our teachers, our staff, our administrators. I can't believe we are now almost in the middle of September, and so it's been a good beginning to the school. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we have the approval of the August 23, 22 regular board minutes, meeting minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hasty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
We have one sustained. Doug Criddle sustains. So it passes 4-1. Now we have 12.2, approval of the consent agenda items. Are there any items that the board would like to pull from the consent agenda? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Doug Criddle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we move to new business. We have pulled 17.2, the public hearing, and 17.3, the approval and adoption. We move on to 17.4, approval of the public hearing for Resolution 2022-23/13, availability of textbooks and instructional materials.
You missed 16.
New business superintendent.
16 on page.
Sorry, folks, I'm a little early. As usual, we're at 17.1.
16.
I can't get it right. It's 16.1. Darn it, sorry. 16.1, approval and adoption of the 2022-23 Governance Handbook. Are there any discussion by the board members? If not, do I hear a motion? Motion approved by Ms. Hasty. Is there a second? Second by Jeff Boom. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're at 17.1. I can count, maybe. Complete the first read of the revised education effectiveness block grant originally adopted on December 14, 2021.
Good evening, Board. This slide. Back in December of last year, we adopted and approved the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. That was our best guess of what we were doing at the time with the Educator Effectiveness Grant. Since that time, we did the district strategic plan. We revamped the LCAP. Therefore, the effectiveness grant was no longer aligned to the district's site plan, or the LCAP, as well as the strategic plan. So we're proposing to revise the grant, and basically what was adopted on 12/14, you could kind of see the categories, and revise it to basically 2 categories. The first category is called coaching and mentoring, which is basically the coaching, our science coaching, math coaching, or any supports we bring to, coaching supports we bring to the district. Also, when there's our TSIP, our supports for our new teachers, our induction program. And then I believe it's number 8, networks, is the program, is the funding for the Teacher Pathways program, which we didn't get to hear about yet. And so this would be how we would reallocate and revise the Educator Effectiveness Grant. Everything that is over on the left side that is allocated for practices for improved pupil well-being or the effective language program, everything over there is actually already accounted for in our title programs as well as our LCF funding out of the LCAP. There's nothing in there that we're actually losing. We just reallocated the funds through the title programs and LCFF, and then we're intentionally putting the funding towards our TSIP, towards our coaches for science and math, and also towards the network for the pathways to support our new teachers. And so this will take 2 meetings to approve. Tonight is just the first presentation, and the next meeting I'll ask for the approval. Okay.
Are there any questions from the board or from anyone else in the room? Sorry?
Did you ask the questions?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I said anybody.
Well, you're not the only ones that have a hard time hearing sometimes in this room, so that's why I was like, did he say anybody in the room or anybody up there? One of the questions that I have is, do we have any idea if there may be any input from the impacted units and educators that are being targeted within this? Because the original, we sat in on 2 meetings and came up with the original adopted Educator Effectiveness Grant. And so that's all that first column of dollars. And then even after sitting in on 2 meetings, we were part of the board meeting also that came up with that. Now today, I think it's interesting that the 1.228 million, I'm pretty sure that I recollect exactly what that was and exactly why the teachers had come up with that. And now all of a sudden that is 0. And that's going to go to coaching and mentoring. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that a large chunk now of this 1.623 million is going to be the 2, 4, or 6 coaches that we're going to have at the DO. And so 1.623 million for 6 people when you've got 508 teachers in the district. So I would just be curious if we're going to have, if MUTA is going to have any discussion within this, or if this is it. Because I get the feeling it is.
The 1.6 million is for the coaches, but it's also for the TSIP program, the county induction program. It's both of those.
So how much is how much?
In your packets, there is, I don't have, here, let me borrow.
If this is just your presenting to us and we're not voting on this today, can this discussion happen afterwards, Ms. Stratton? Yeah, I can do it. Thank you. We're just going to move on.
Thank you very much.
I'll get that to you. Okay, I want to know, absolutely. I have a question. I'm just curious for the part of the programs for improved instruction, that was 1.2 million, that's now at 0. I just was curious as to what was included in that. I mean, that was the most expensive category, that's now nothing. So I'm just curious as to what that was.
Thank you. Now we're at 17.4. Approve a public hearing for resolution of 2022-23/13, availability of textbooks and instructional materials.
Yeah, we're just requesting to set a public hearing for next meeting to do a resolution for the availability of textbook materials. So just requesting the public hearing.
Are there any questions from the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are. Do we? Oh, I thought we were just. I'm misreading. I'm sorry. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Jeff Boom. Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Crawford. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're at 18.2, I think. Approval of employee contract for the chief technology.
18.1, buddy.
Yeah, this is not, this is, we are doing this.
Oh.
18.1.
It's a correction. We have a few challenges on knowing what we are discussing tonight, and I'm skipping all over the place. We're at 18.1. Resolution 2022-23/10 declaration of Chief Technology Officer as a classified senior management position.
I can respond to that. This is a resolution that the board has to adopt because we are creating a new position for the Chief Technology Officer to be in the Superintendent's Cabinet.
Are there any questions for the superintendent? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Hasty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. 18.2, approval of employee contract Chief Technology Officer.
Right, and thank you for that again. By putting this position in cabinet, as was mentioned previously, there's a lot of personnel data, there's confidential information that comes up in the form of investigations and such that the CTO is always involved. And the contract, therefore, now in the cabinet level has gone back to be exactly what was for all of us in cabinet, which is a salary scale increase like per year, and then also no Me Too contract. He has given that up at this point. So we are all within the contract. We're recommending a 3-year contract for him. He's now a contracted employee. And he has, in addition to the technology, also under his supervision for now, he has the purchasing and the warehouse department that has been added to his area of responsibility.
Are there any questions for the superintendent? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hasty. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're at 13.3, approve the cabinet salary schedule.
Yes, we do. Thank you, yes. It is really required that the cabinet salary be publicly posted. You know, we are public employees. Our salary should be open for reviewing, just like all our teachers, all are classified. So this wasn't being done before, and we're doing it now. So we just want you to be able to see the cabinet salary schedule, which will be posted on the district website.
Are there any questions from the board for the superintendent? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Ms. Hasty. All those, is there a second? Second by Doug Criddle. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're at 18.4. Approve the revised job description and position of English language development site facilitator.
I could take care of this one. Our old EL facilitator job description was pretty outdated. It referenced old testing that we no longer do. The job duties were pretty minimal. Now this is really reflective of what we need our EL facilitators to do and to help our students reclassify within 5 years of being identified as English learners.
Are there any questions from the board? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Hasty. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now, Business Services, 19.1, Building and Grounds Department update. Doug?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Doug Trower. I'm the director of the Buildings and Grounds Department, and I am here to update everybody on the Buildings and Grounds Department 2021-2022 year-end update. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dr. Israni, and Executive Cabinet. Thank you for the opportunity to present the 2020-21-2022 year-end update for Buildings and Grounds. I would like to first thank all custodial, grounds, and maintenance staff for providing our kids a safe and clean environment due to COVID and staff shortages. So again, thank you. Over the past year, our maintenance staff has completed 2,228 work orders. A large percentage of these work orders fall into 4 categories: doors and locks, heating and air, miscellaneous, and plumbing. As we move through the implementation of the AB 841 grant, we will be tracking the AC work orders closely. We are hoping that we have a decrease in the amount of work orders generated for our air conditioning department. We will also be tracking the plumbing work orders from last year to this year because of the large amount of vandalism. And again, we are hoping that this does not become a trend. Over the past year, we have installed 3 pour-in-place play surfaces. This material is hyperallergenic and will save the district $18,000 a year by not having to pay for playground bark. They will also provide better aesthetics for the playground. We have also continued to make our roofs a priority by allocating over $250,000 a year to the repair and replacement of them. We will continue to evaluate our roofs through the work order system and the facilities master plan. Our playfields are also our priority. Last year, we replaced the football field at Lyndhurst High School, and this year we replaced the playfield at Linda School. Linda's field had been identified as an issue on the Williams Act inspections and will be a welcome addition to this site. Flooring in a school district is a revolving issue, as it is the one area that gets wear and tear on a day-to-day basis. We have allocated on average $250,000 a year to carpet and flooring over the last 3 years and plan to continue to evaluate and replace the flooring as needed. Over the last 2 years, we painted 5 schools and look to continue to beautify our campuses. This year, we took a step back, however, and did small, isolated paint jobs. South LHS North Campus, Loma Rica classrooms, and Oliver's cafeteria all got painted. By getting the classrooms clean and painted at Loma Rica, as well as replacing the roof, we were able to move teachers back from the portables into the main building. We plan on using the facilities master plan for all future painting projects. We also continue to fix siding and stucco issues throughout the district and plan to repair these issues before we move on painting projects in the future. The Yuba Gardens Band Room is one job that I think highlights our staff's ability to think outside the box and reimagine our classroom spaces to accommodate our new and expanding programs. We were able to expand 3 rooms into one and allow band and choir to share a room instead of using 2 separate spaces. This freed up one portable and allowed us to move the science lab into a central location near the rest of the science teachers. I think when the Alberga expansion project is completed and we have a chance to look back on the project as a whole, it will be something that we can all be proud of, despite its challenges. This project has a new multi-purpose room with a very nice large kitchen, 10 classrooms, and a science lab. It also includes a new blacktop area, track, and outdoor stage, and we now utilize the entire campus. So some of the highlights from this year. We are approved by the state for the AB 841 grant, which will allow us to continue to upgrade our HVAC systems at no cost to the school district. This is a $1.3 million grant. We are also approved for a grant to install 33 bottle fillers in the amount of $99,825. We will continue to look for funding through grants or district funds to install the remaining bottle fillers. Another highlight is the district-wide solar and HVAC upgrades. I just want to give one more mention to the Loma Rica Classroom Project, Yuba Gardens Band Room, South LHS North Campus Painting, Linda Playfield, and Pour in Place Play Surface, as these are all highlights for this year. So what's next for the 2022-2023 school year? Well, we plan on implementing our facilities master plan. We also have the new construction for the Covalad Classroom Addition, the Foothill Modernization Program, MHS track upgrade and gym floor replacement, and we are also doing an MCAA dance studio. I'm sure there'll be more that we add to this list as we go through this year, but at this point, this is the end of my presentation. So thank you again for the opportunity to present.
Are there any questions for Mr. Trower?
I have a couple. What are your intentions for the Marysville track?
Well, we intend to upgrade it, hopefully with a nice artificial or rubberized turf, and then we're not sure exactly what kind of grass or artificial turf floor that we're going to do for inside the track, but we're looking at the whole facilities, lighting, long jump, triple jump, the whole works.
I'm an old track coach, that's why I'm happy with that.
No guarantees on anything.
Mr. Crawford? Frank, on the 15th, on Thursday, we're holding a community meeting in here for the Marysville track to get input from the coaches, the athletic director, and the students.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So what do you think the timeline is for the replacement of the floor in the basketball gym? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we're looking at this summer, and it'll probably be around a month to get it all. The bleachers moved, the floor stripped and ready to go, and then the new flooring in. Somewhere around a month.
The second half, real quick, the gym floor replacement, what are you putting down, same stuff?
Wood floor.
Ah, really?
Wood floor. It'll be a thinner wood floor than would normally go in the gym, just because the profile doesn't allow for the full 3/4 inch wood floor, but it'll be a 50-year floor. Yeah, so it'll be nice to have a real wood floor for Marysville's gym.
Thank you. That's it for me. Doug, are the same bleachers going back in?
Yes, sir.
Are those the original?
Those are the original. So,
They're not very comfortable. Huh?
one of the things with the bleachers are we'll motorize them and they'll be good as new. I mean, we'll make them look good. Well, we'll motorize them so they pull out correctly.
Back to the track question. What are the price differences between keeping it grass and natural versus artificial turf?
Well, we haven't got all the prices in for that, so I think once we look at that, we'll look at both areas. But I'll say that one of the other things that we'll look at too is, and I think a lot of different places are looking at it as far as from an injury standpoint. Some of the artificial turf surfaces are causing some injuries, but I don't know all the facts on that, but those are some of the things that we'll want to look at for the kids.
What about the fumes from the artificial turf? Has anybody commented or talked to you about that?
No, I haven't heard anything from that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
I just want to make a quick comment that, we talk about there's so much needs in the community. And just a shout out to the team, what a teamwork can do when we sit together in the facilities committee and we talk to our principals and the leadership that Doug has brought to the table. As you can see, all these projects are being done with our district funds. And that's really important. Thank you, Doug.
Now we have 19.2, review and approve the 2021-22 unaudited actuals financial report. Jennifer?
Hi, good evening. I have a presentation that Russell is going to start.
Good evening, President Davis, fellow board members, Superintendent Osrani, Cabinet, and the community. My presentation this evening is a summary of the 2021-22 unaudited actual financial reports. Under current law, a school district must adopt its budget before July 1st and submit a report of actual financial results to the County Office of Education for the prior fiscal year by September 15th. The next step is to provide these actual financial results for independent review and audit by the district's independent external auditors, who prepare a final audit report to be presented to the Board of Trustees in January 2023. At the 2022-23 budget adoption in June, estimated actual financial amounts for 2021-22 were presented as part of the budget forms. This evening, I will summarize the comparison of what was estimated at the time versus the actual financial amounts prepared by the fiscal department staff. In December, the 22-23 first interim financials will be reported. In January, the governor will come out with his 23-24 budget proposal, and the second interim financials will be reported to the board in March. From April to May, we will build the 23-24 budget based on the governor's May revise, and the budget cycle will continue into the next year. The agenda for this presentation is, first, an unaudited actuals to estimated actuals comparison of the unrestricted general fund, and then of the total combined unrestricted and restricted funds, total ending fund balance, a variance summary, components of fund balance, GAN limit, COVID relief fund summary, and then next steps. The general fund consists of unrestricted and restricted funds. Unrestricted funds are generated primarily by the LCFF local control funding formula calculation and are available for the general and discretionary needs of the district, such as salary and benefits, materials and supplies, operating expenses such as utilities, services, capital expenditures, and contributions to special ed and routine maintenance accounts. Restricted funds come from the other state and federal sources and are available for use only within the programs and purposes for which they are granted. For example, textbook funds. Restricted and unrestricted funds together make up the total general fund, but the flexibility afforded by the two different types of funding is very different. Actual 2021-22 Total unrestricted revenues equal $108.3 million, $1.8 million less than estimated in June. The decrease is primarily due to a prior year adjustment in our LCFF revenue. Revenue from the LCFF is generated by our average daily attendance, or ADA, and makes up 97% of our unrestricted revenue. The 2021-22 unrestricted expenditures total $115.7 million, $5.2 million less than the estimated actuals. The $5.2 million difference between estimated actuals and unaudited actuals is due to a $1.7 million increase to salary and benefits for negotiated salary increases, a $4.3 million savings in supplies and other services due to unspent funds in various departments. Transportation had savings due to unfilled bus driver positions, and many sites had unspent funds for planned expenditures in 22-23. Capital outlay reflects a 1.3 savings for facility projects not yet completed, but will carry over to the 22-23 fiscal year, and other outgo saved $1.3 million in contributions to special education due to unfilled positions and savings in contract services. Here's a pie chart of the total unrestricted general fund expenditures. As expected, the majority of our budget is for salaries and benefits. In this section, I will summarize the total combined general fund and audited actuals. The total combined general fund includes unrestricted and restricted funds. Actual total combined general fund revenues equal $152.3 million. This is a $47.7 million decrease from estimated actuals. The decrease is primarily due to restricted revenues, including COVID relief funds that are unearned revenue or planned carryover. Many federal and state grants do not recognize revenue until expensed. In 2022-23, we will recognize the revenue in first interim financial report. Most COVID relief funds and other state funds allow spending over multiple years, so each year the revenue that hasn't been spent is considered unearned and is carried over to the next fiscal year. Even with the addition of restricted general fund revenues, LCFF is our main revenue source. Total combined general fund expenditures reflect a $28.5 million savings due to savings in department budgets, planned site carryover, and facility projects. The $13.1 million in capital outlay savings is due to the COVID 16 classroom building project funded partially with ESSER II funds and will carry into the 22-23 fiscal year. 74% of total expenditures are salary and benefits. Here is a summary of the total ending general fund balance as of June 30th, 2022. The total revenues, less the total expenditures, result in a $500,000 increase in fund balance. This is $19.2 million less than the estimated actuals. In the next slide, I will explain the $19.2 million variance. But please note, ending balance is $21.2 million less than the estimated actuals. As you can see, there's a $2 million difference between the estimated and actual beginning fund balance. This is due to a 2020-21 unearned revenue audit adjustment. The ending fund balance for 21-22 is $60.5 million. The $19.2 million decrease to fund balance from estimated actuals is listed here on this slide. Unrestricted general fund unaudited actuals resulted in a $3.2 million increase due to carryover in site funds, one-time projects, and savings to special ed. The 22.4 decrease to restricted general fund is due to unearned revenues in Title I, inclusive early education expansion grant, and COVID relief funds. The ending fund balance of $60.5 million is comprised of revolving cash, our stores, which is our warehouse inventory, restricted balances, reserve for economic uncertainty, committed for our other post-employment benefits, and other assignments. This evening, you will also have a resolution 2223/11 adoption of the 22-23 GAN limit and 21-22 recalculations before you for approval. Proposition 4, also known as the GAN limit, was passed in 1979 to keep state and local government spending capped at the 1978-79 levels, with adjustments for changes in population and inflation. For school districts, issues with the limit can occur if revenues from taxes increase at a greater rate than the average daily attendance and inflation. Since 1987, any school district with more tax revenue than their limit allows may request the state to share some of the state's limit to cover the shortfall. Requests for more limit have been automatically approved, and the process for requesting more limit from the state are incorporated in the Standardized Accounts Code Structure, SAC software. Ed Codes 1629 and 42132 require boards to adopt a resolution identifying the estimated spending limit for the current fiscal year and the actual spending limit for the preceding fiscal year by September 15th. Here is a summary of our COVID relief funds. Coming up next, in December, we'll come back with the 22-23 first interim financial report. In January, we'll hear what the governor's budget proposal is for the 23-24 fiscal year. And in March, we'll be back with the second interim fiscal report for 22-23 school year. Before I close my presentation, I would like to thank the entire fiscal services staff, purchasing department, nutrition services, child development, and especially Cindy Helms and Amy Littlefield for all their hard work and dedication. I appreciate the partnership from all of our departments to ensure the fiscal integrity of our district.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? The one question I had was on the difference on the management of restricted versus unrestricted funds. Are the restricted funds still in the budget? And are the unrestricted funds still in the budget?
So I think you're referring to the unearned revenue in restricted?
Yes.
Yes. So the unearned revenue is an allocation that we've received from the government, but we have not yet spent. So we have to account for it as unearned revenue, and then next year it'll carry over into this year, 22-23. So we still have an opportunity to spend that money. Yes.
And that's the unrestricted?
That's the unearned revenue in the restricted general fund. Yes.
Are there any other questions from the board? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second? Second by Jeff Boom. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Now we have 19.3. Approve the resolution 2022-23/09, amend bylaws of the Northern California Schools Insurance Group. Do we have any information?
Yes, this is our insurance group, Northern California Schools Insurance Group, NCIG, and they require us to adopt their resolution that amended their bylaws.
Are there any questions for Jennifer from the board? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second? Second by Jeff Boone. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next, we have 19.4, Resolution 2022-23/11, adoption of the 2022-23 Gantt limit and the 2021-22 recalculations.
This is for the GAN limit resolution. It's part of our unaudited actuals. I had a slide on it in our presentation.
Are there any questions for Jennifer? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second? Second. Second by Ms. Stacy. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're at 19.5, Resolution 2022-23/12, School Bus Purchase Piggyback.
Good evening. So I'm Brian Horn, Director of Purchasing and Warehouse and Print Shop. So basically, this is a piggyback contract. It's what we typically run with. Our previous one actually expired. They're good for about 5 years. There's 3 years plus 2 years of extension. And just for a practice, we keep a couple of these always in approval status. And this is what we use, like tonight when you approve the consent item for 2 school buses. We'll look through our toolbox. We'll make sure we're using, getting the best prices for we can for these school buses. And these contracts are really used up and down the state.
Are there any questions from the board? Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye. Is there a motion to approve? Frank Crawford? Thank you again. Is there a second? Second by Doug Criddle. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. 19.6, approve the purchase of equipment and agree to the service agreement with the KJET of cellular service for 30 of our school buses.
So, as many of you know, we use a system called the E-rate each year to pay for our fiber lines, our high bandwidth lines to our school sites. Over the course of COVID and distance learning, they came out with what they call the Emergency Connectivity Fund, and they made some additional funds available. One of the things that was eligible was cellular service in our school buses. We have, in particular, up in the foothills, we've got kids that'll be on the school bus coming down to Marysville for an hour. And we wanted to see if we couldn't provide some service to them while they're on it. Went out and got requested bids from 3 different places, got 2 of them back. This is the best service. The nice thing about this is it actually will run off of both Verizon and AT&T. So if you've been up in the foothills, you know some places Verizon's better and some places AT&T's better. And it will actually switch back and forth depending on the stronger signal while the bus is driving on the routes. So it's the best service that we're going to be able to provide them. The beauty of it is with the Emergency Connectivity Fund, the entire cost for the first year is actually going to be covered. The installation, the purchase of the equipment, the installation of the equipment, and the yearly fee will be completely covered in year 1. And then if at some point the emergency connectivity funds go away in the future, the yearly cost for the district to keep it going, the service is about $15,000 a year. It's one of the reasons why we chose this one, is because that is something that we feel will be doable moving forward.
Can I give a quick shout out? I do need to say this. This goes to Angela Stiegel. She came and spoke to me in one of our many Wednesday meetings, and she said, why don't you guys put Wi-Fi on the buses? Do you remember that?
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
Well, I've only been here a year, so you said it to me in a year. And so the question is that I do need to give her a shout out. It was her idea that she brought to us, and I'm so glad that Brian was able to make it happen.
Are there any questions for Brian? One question I have, Brian, is given these kind of additions to our system, be it either the computer or the cellular, is our system able to handle that?
Absolutely. We've got a system in place. It was built to grow. And so we kind of expect these things to come, and we make sure that many of the other things that I've brought to you is with these types of additions expected and anticipated so that we're prepared for them when they show up. So, yep.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Brian? Thank you, Brian. Do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Frank Crawford. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Hasty. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Meeting adjourned.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hola, familias del MJUSD. Soy Adira y vengo a...
Skip's Marysville Music Cafe with lessons in person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps. horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe.